Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy DJ Fluffy here, and I would like to show you my Yu-Gi-Oh! Shaddoll's deck. This is from the Shaddoll Showdown structure deck. Um, there's this version that I made that includes cards from outside of that structure deck, and we'll get to the other deck shortly. Um, so one of the first main cards that wasn't actually in the structure deck was Dogeron, the Mad Flame Kaiju. So instead of running 2 to 3, what is he called, Lava Golem, I decided to run this because it doesn't require you to have your opponent to have 2 monsters, and also doesn't restrict your normal summon. So I thought that was pretty cool. Pretty cool. That's why I decided to put that in there. And yeah, then you got your Lay Shaddoll Wendy, and she's pretty cool. In my opinion, she's the best effect monster for Shaddolls. One problem with her, though, is that she is wind, so it's a little hard to, what do you call it? It's hard to use her for fusions, but her effect is pretty good. So her flip summon and her send effect are both the same effect. So they both read special summon 1 Shaddoll monster from your deck, except her in the face up or face down defense position, which is pretty good. That lets you get out any Shaddoll card. We got your Noelle Shaddoll Aerial. The reason why I have this in here is because where I play, there's a lot of banishing cards that people play with, like, oh, hey, let's go through your extra deck. Oh, cool, that's banished. Or, hey, banish that card from your graveyard. Well, with this, it gives you some extra protection from banishment, because it allows you to go get them back, which I think is pretty cool. Alright, and then you got Mathematician over here. Mathematician's pretty cool because he lets you send 1 level 4 or lower monster from your deck to your graveyard, and when this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can draw 1 card. So he's card draw, and he's also a send card, which is pretty cool. Then you got Quado Shaddoll Chaos. Chaos? I don't know how you want to say that. I like Chaos, but I know that's not how you spell Chaos, but whatever. And it says, when this card is flip summoned, special summon 1 Shaddoll monster from your hand in face up or face down defense position. And if this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, send 1 Shaddoll monster from your hand to the graveyard. Apply the following effects. Monsters you control gain attack and defense equal to the monster's level times 100. You can only use this effect once per turn, and only once per turn. So that's pretty cool. I don't really like the second effect that much, but that first effect is pretty good. I use it a lot. Then you got Shaddoll Beast. Shaddoll Beast is pretty cool. He's your card draw. Outside of like Mathematician and adding cards to your hand. So his flip effect is draw 2 cards and discard 1. And his scent effect is draw 1 card. And just like all Shaddolls, you can only use that effect once per turn. And yeah, so next we got Shaddoll Dragon. Shaddoll Dragon is a pretty cool card. When it flips, you can target 1 card in your opponent controls and return it to the hand. And if this card is sent to graveyard, you can target 1 spell or trap on the field, destroy it, and just like all other Shaddolls, you can only use this effect once per turn. Next we have Shaddoll Falco. Now Falco, at first I was only running 2 Falco, but then I realized that Falco is an actually very important card because of his second effect. But the first effect is also kind of nice. So, flip. You can target 1 Shaddoll monster in your graveyard, except Shaddoll Falco. Special summon it face down defense position. If this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can special summon it face down defense position. You can only do this once per turn and only once per that turn. So I like his second effect because it lets you bring back a monster, which I think is pretty cool. Yeah. Let's see here. Ah, yes. Shaddoll Hedgehog. So I don't actually really like Hedgehog. He's still pretty nice, but he's a search card. But I don't ever find myself using him that often. In fact, if I do use him, it's to banish him using Allure of Darkness, but you guys might find yourselves using him more than I do. But his effect is Flip. You can add one Shaddoll spell or trap card from your deck to your hand, and his scent effect is you can add one Shaddoll monster from your deck to your hand. So, that's pretty cool. I like that a lot. Who's next? We got Squamata. Now, Squamata is pretty cool. This is your control piece, your let's control the board. And its flip effect says target one monster on the field, destroy it. And if this card is sent to the grave, you can send one Shaddoll card from your deck to the graveyard. And that's really good because that obviously sends stuff, and you kind of need to send stuff for their second effects to go off, which is alright. Then we have one Armageddon Knight. It just lets you send one dark monster from deck to grave. Pretty much what Mathematician does, except for it's restricted on the dark art attribute, except and not the level count. So yeah. Then we got Black Luster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning. And he can't be normal summoned. In order to summon him, you have to special summon him by banishing one light monster and one dark monster from your graveyard. And once per turn, you can activate one of these effects. Target one monster on the field, banish that target face up. This target cannot attack this turn. This effect, or the turn this effect is activated. And then the other one is, if this attacking card destroys an opponent's monster by battle after a damage calculation, it can make a second attack in a row. Oh, and that's pretty cool. And we got the Allure of Darkness. The reason why I only have one in here and not more, because most people will run 2 or 3, is because I don't like banishing cards very much. But because we have Ariel, she actually helps us get back banished cards, so I might actually change that to 2 copies and get rid of 1 Falco. Because the way that I was actually playing with Falco, and I didn't mention this, was my friend said that you can summon itself and 1 other card in the graveyard, but you can't. So that's one of the reasons why I thought it was so good, but I actually still like it because it brings itself out of the graveyard for a fusion material. So I still kind of want to keep that at 3, but I'm debating. And honestly, I don't like Beast, so I might actually just take Beast out and put in another Allure. But what Allure of Darkness says is draw 2 cards, then banish 1 dark monster from your hand, or if you do not have a dark, or if you do not have any in your hand, send your entire hand to the graveyard. So it's a real gamble. That's another reason why I kind of didn't like it, was because of how much of a gamble it was. But yeah. So you got Foolish Burial for sending 1 monster from deck to graveyard. You don't necessarily need this because of all the other sending effects that you have, but it's just nice to have. You got Monster Reborn to regenerate a monster, the resurrect one, target 1 monster in either graveyard, and special summon it. Then you got your Pot of Avarice that was recently unbanned. Target 5 monsters in your graveyard, shuffle all 5 into the deck, then draw 2 cards. That's pretty good. Also, back to the Monster Reborn. That was not included in this deck. So if you're looking for that, I think I got mine from the one of the Link decks. I think it was the On-Code Talker deck. Not sure. I don't really remember. But yeah, you can. Those are easy to find. Everyone's got them. Anyway, Shaddoll Fusion. Fusion summon 1 Shaddoll Fusion monster from your extra deck. Using monsters in your hand or filled as material. And this is the really cool part that I really like. If your opponent controls a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck, you can also use monsters from your deck as fusion material. So, and you can only activate this once per turn. So that's really good because this effect counts as sending, is being sent to the graveyard through a card effect. So, it triggers and lets you know, hey, this can happen, and this will trigger those effects, which is really good, especially if you need extra card advantage, or let's say you want to send a Wendy, then boom, you play Wendy, and all of a sudden you get another monster on the field. Oh no, it's just really good. Anyway, I'm just blabbering on. Let's check out Shaddoll Fusion. Most people only run one of these. I like two because of the extra deck, which we'll be getting to shortly. Anyway, it says activate this card by declaring one attribute. Equip only to a Shaddoll monster, and if it becomes that attribute during your main phase, you can target one Shaddoll fusion monster. You can fusion summon. There we go. One Shaddoll fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or side of the field as fusion materials, including the equipped monster. You can only use this effect of Shaddoll Fusion once per turn. So that's really nice, and I'll get to why it's really nice in just a second. Next we have Shaddoll Fusion. Now, Shaddoll Fusion is very important because obviously it's a Shaddoll Fusion card, which we need. So, fusion summon one Shaddoll Fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or side of the field as fusion materials. You can only activate one per turn. This is just really nice because it gives you another way to fusion summon. And here we go, the fourth way to fusion summon monsters in this deck. It's Super Polymerization. Now this here is even more of a money card for polymerizing, I guess if you want to say, for fusion summoning your monsters because it lets you use both sides of the field. And also, it makes you discard one card, which is really good in Shaddolls because that counts as being sent to the graveyard as a card effect. So, that will trigger all your Shaddolls and everything. And this card will read, discard one card, fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from either field as fusion material. Neither player can activate card effects cards or effects in response to this card's activation. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And that will do it for the main deck. We're going to go over to the extra deck over here. Now, this extra deck has been changing a lot, and I'm pretty sure it's going to change again here pretty soon. Because, one reason. This card. I hate this card. I don't use it, and it's just in there as a filler. I would say run one if you're going to run any. But yeah, I'm running two because I was, stupid ads. I was told to run two for some dumb reason, and I'm kind of don't like that I listened to them. So I'm probably going to be taking down the one and adding in something else. But anyway, so for this, you must fuse one Shaddoll monster and one water monster. Must first be fusion summoned. Neither player can special summon monsters from the hand or graveyard with a spell or trap effects. And that's why it sucks. Because not very many people are special summoning from the hand or graveyard using spell or trap effects. And guess what? You are trying to special summon cards using effects, and if you wanted to, you could add cards that let you special summon from deck or hand that are spell and traps. In fact, one of the Shaddoll trap cards, I believe, lets you do that. I don't remember which one it is. We could go and check in a minute. But yeah, so this kind of just doesn't help anyone. It doesn't help you or your opponent. So it's like a double-edged sword. And then just like all the Shaddoll fusion monsters, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one Shaddoll spell or trap in the graveyard and add it to your hand. Now, you have Shaddoll. I like to call him Al Capone, but that's not his name. Or her name. It's Apocalone. I know I'm not saying that right, but I don't really care. So, it says, in order to fusion summon this, you need two Shaddoll monsters with different attributes. That's pretty cool. And it's not specific. So, must first be fusion summoned, cannot be destroyed by battle. If this card is special summoned, you can target one face-up card and negate its effects. If this card is sent to the graveyard, add one Shaddoll card from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So, and then discard one card. So this is really cool because it gets any Shaddoll card from your deck or graveyard. Unlike the other Shaddoll fusion monsters, those ones do not add it from the deck, only the graveyard, and they specifically say spell or trap and not just card, which I think is really cool. Now next up we have kind of the whole reason why we're playing Shaddolls, and that is Shaddoll Construct. And the reason why we're playing her is because her effect is amazing. Now we'll get to that in just 1 second. But first, in order to fusion summon her, you need 1 Shaddoll monster and 1 light monster. And also must first be fusion summoned. If this card is special summoned, you can send 1 Shaddoll card from your deck to the graveyard. That is really freaking good. I like that a lot. Yeah, it's really cool. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles a special summoned monster, destroy that monster. Now listen. This means that even if your opponent's monster has a higher attack than she does, which is common, because 2800 is pretty average, and it's not like boss monster material, destroy it. That means that if their attack is higher, it doesn't destroy yours, because the effect activates before the damage is actually done, which is really cool. Alright, now, you got, if this card is sent to the graveyard, target 1 Shaddoll spell or trap in your graveyard and add it to hand. That's a common thing. Let's move on to El Shaddoll Grista. Now, in order to fusion summon this, you need 1 Shaddoll monster and 1 fire monster. So if you noticed, I'm only running 3 fire monsters. But the reason for that is I'm also running super polymerization. And super polymerization uses both sides of the field, and because salamangreates are so prevalent, I thought, hey, it doesn't really matter, we can just use theirs. They're fire monsters and whatnot. So, once per turn, first must be fusion summoned. During either player's turn, when your opponent would special summon a monster or monsters, while you have a Shaddoll card in your hand, you can negate the summon. And if you do, destroy that monster and send 1 Shaddoll card from your hand to the graveyard. That's really good because it allows the Shaddoll card that you send to activate, and that's really good. You can only use the effect of El Shaddoll Grista once per turn. If this card is sent to the graveyard, do all the things that all Shaddoll fusion summon monsters do, and return that spell or trap to hand. Now we got our lovely El Shaddoll Shekinaga. Shekinaga? I don't know, whatever. And that requires 1 Shaddoll monster and 1 Earth monster. So also, if you notice, we're only playing like 2 or 3 Earth monsters, but once again, because the meta, a lot of decks are running Earth monsters, so they're quite prevalent, and we got that super poly, and that's why we're running that. So, first of all, must be fusion summoned first, During either player's turn, when a special summon monster activates its effects, while you have a Shaddoll card in your hand, you can negate the activation. If you do, destroy that monster and send 1 Shaddoll card from your hand to your graveyard. That's really cool because it negates and destroys. Unlike Grista, where it negates and destroys from the summon, this one does from the effect. So, that's still pretty good. You got a real nice effect veiler for you on a Shaddoll. Only difference is effect veiler doesn't destroy it. That's pretty cool. And then obviously you can only activate it once per turn, and then if this card is sent to the graveyard, do the Shaddoll thing and return that spell or trap. Next up, we have El Shaddoll Winda. Now, Winda, honestly, if we didn't have El Shaddoll Construct, Winda would be the only other reason why we would build this deck. So you need 1 Shaddoll monster and 1 dark monster. Not hard, most Shaddolls are dark. Now, must first be fusion summoned, as all of them say. Cannot be destroyed by an opponent's card effects. Each player can only special summon or monster or monsters once per turn while this card is face up on the field. So, the wording there is very specific. Each player can only special summon monster or monsters once per turn. It doesn't say 1 monster, it just says you can only do it once per turn. So if you have a card that special summons multiple monsters and it's in one go, that counts as 1 per turn. Not every single one, you can only do 1 from that card effect. You can do all of them because that counts as once per turn. So if you got stuff, let's say you played, I know it's banned, but it's oh, what's that called? Soul. I don't even remember now. The one spell card that lets you pay 1,000 life for every monster reborn, basically. I don't know. For every reincarnation of a card, you pay 1,000 life. I don't remember what that card is called right now. Soul Charge? There we go. Anyway, that card, even though it's banned, we're going to use it as an example. As long as you're doing that card and not, let's say, 2 monster reborns, even though you can only have 1, you can still get all 5 monsters on the field with that one card because you're only doing it once and it activates that one time. And that's really useful, and I really enjoy that. Now, if this card is sent to the graveyard, do the Shaddoll thing. Return the spell or trap. So yeah, I swear, all these ads. Anyway, Shaddoll Construct. All it requires to link is 2 flip monsters. Spoiler alert, all Shaddolls are flip monsters. Boom. During your main phase, you can fusion summon 1 Shaddoll fusion monster in your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. If this card is in your graveyard, you can send 1 Shaddoll card from your hand or face up from your field to the graveyard. And if you do, special summon this card. You can only use the effects of Shaddoll Construct once per turn. Now listen. This is not a good card. First of all, even though Master Rule 5 is coming out, which if you don't know what that is, I'm sure you can go find a YouTube video on it. Look at those link zones. Boom and boom on the sides. And notice how the structure deck only comes with that 1 link monster. So you're telling me that until Master Rule 5, we need to get another link monster in here in order for me to summon multiple fusion monsters? Yeah, no. No, that's not good. Yeah, it's not a good card. Yeah, I'm sorry. But until Master Rule 5 comes out, there's really no need to run more than 1 of this. And you don't even need to run 1. I've seen people run 0. I just like it because the copy that I have is foil, because I got the dual power, whatever. And yeah, so you don't actually need this, and it's a bad card, much like this, but at least this does a little bit of something. Anyway, so I don't have a side deck, because I don't believe in side decks. When I play Magic, I don't have sideboards, really, unless I've copied the deck from someone, or someone asked me to put a thing on it, or a side deck on it. So this is my build with the 3 Shaddoll structure decks and nothing else added to it. You can see it's pretty much the same, except for 3 cards, I think. Yeah, 3 cards, but 4 copies. Yeah, okay. So we got the Lava Golem that I said was replaced by Dogoran. That's alright. We got this electromagnetic turtle. Stops the battle phase. And then we got this boy, Performer Mage, Trick Clown. When he's sent to the graveyard, you can special summon him back to the field. Yeah, so that's pretty much the only difference. There's also no Monster Reborn and whatnot. But I do want to mention one thing, and that's this trap right here. Shaddoll Incarnation is basically a Monster Reborn trap card for Shaddolls. And the reason why I'm not running it is I just don't like trap cards. That's it. So yeah. I don't like trap cards. These are all the cards that do come in that structure deck, though. There are 41 of them in the main deck. And there's 8 that come in the extra deck. Also, I didn't run Wendigo because Wendigo sucks. Everyone knows that. That's its effect. I'm not even going to take time to read it. If you want to pause the video, you can. Don't really care. Alrighty. Well, I think that does it for this episode. Thanks for joining me. If you have any questions on Shaddolls, let me know, and I will try to answer your questions. I'm still learning the deck, but I can try to help. So if you have any questions, put them down in the comments below. And yeah, I'm DJ Fluffy. Yeah, I'll see y'all later, I guess. Peace out.